Well, hello, sir. So I know you're at your retreat this week, so I wanted to just record a quick video for you and explain about a little bit about what I wanted to touch on today on our coaching call. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the seller lead conversion process and taking basically a seller lead from contact to appointment. And that's it, just breaking it down to a baby step of contact to appointment. This is it's a pretty big struggle with most people, believe it or not, contact to appointment, and where most people fail. I heard it again today and it was one of my coaching clients in Kansas City. He's the team leader, and he actually gets a call from a past client. And the past client, although he hadn't sold them a property yet, he actually had met with them at the airport when they first moved to the area. Got to know them. He ended up buying for sale by owner, so didn't get to help him. Now he needs to sell both his house and his mother's house, so two houses. He had been working with this guy for about 6 months to get his homes ready. Well, all of a sudden, he wanted a second opinion, so he calls my coaching client. Coaching client goes out there, meets with them, ends up locking it in as a listing for both signs of both. Well, the agent is extremely mad and like to the point to where he is telling him, you need to make this right. I've been working on this for 6 months. Here's the problem. Shame on the agent, not on my coaching client, because the process is from contact to appointment. The process is not from contact to 6 months later and hope you get it signed. He had what a lot of people call, it's actually in the prospecting modules, agency, where you think you have agency. They call it like, I can't remember the name of it. It's going to kill me right now, but it is, anyway, basically, you think you have an agency relationship with this person when you really don't. This agent, which is a newer agent, he's only closed one this year so far, brand new agent, doesn't have the experience to understand that you've got to have really good, clear, and concise questions and answers and statements to these people to the point to where you're sure you have an agency relationship. You can't just expect to think that you've got one. For 6 months long, you never did actually talk about agency and secure this listing into an actual signed listing. Are you serious? And you think some other agent that has more knowledge isn't going to swoop in and sign that? Think again. So to structure your appointments from contact to contract, not contact to 6 months later finally get the contract, is what we're going to be discussing today. All right, so I'm just going to read something to you, okay? The ultimate goal is to take it from contact to contract. Contact to appointment, which is appointment to contract. We don't ever want to do a listing presentation over the phone. Even with your family, key most important points, you can lose your own family, which has happened many, many times. Happened to me early on in my career. Even with your own family, you have to realize that if they are talking to anyone else, which most people know several agents, we know that most people know several agents or have friends that know several agents, someone else is going to try to beat you out. In this case, it happened to this kid. So keep it professional, even with your own family, and get the appointment to contract. Even if it's an appointment via Zoom, it doesn't matter. Some key most important questions that you need to ask for over the phone to get that appointment. Okay, so now we're on the phone. We've got a potential client, we've got a potential buyer, we've got a potential seller, doesn't matter which one it is. Have you spoken with any other agent yet? It's an important thing, it's an important thing to find out, to make sure that you're alleviating what each objective handler is, to alleviate an objection and move it behind us so that we can move forward to the next part of it. So have you spoken with any other agents yet? Have you thought about selling your home yourself? Why is that important? Because believe it or not, if you don't get good, clear, concise questions and answers, then just know that they are thinking about it or they have thought about it. You have an objection that has not been cleared up yet. And what that means is someone's going to clear it up. And it's not going to, if it's not you, then you've got that lingering over your head where someone could steal it out from under you. So have you thought about selling the home yourself yet? Do you have an idea? And then with that question, you're going to talk about your value. One is a lot of people that think for sale by owners, they're not valuing us agents, and it hurts when they don't value us. So you've got to really present your value to them. Do you have an idea of what price you want to sell the home for? Why is that an important question? And just know that you'll get pullback where a lot of people will say, well, that's what I hired you for. That's usually the response. And then you say, yeah, that's why I'm here. And I ultimately am going to go over that with you because I have all the numbers right here before us. But before I do that, you have a number in your head. And for us to be the best we can be working together, we need to talk about that. We need to have that a full transparent number that you have in your head that your expectations are. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to move forward. We're always going to, you're going to have expectations. I may not meet them. I want to make sure I'm going to alleviate that right up front. We're honest with each other, and I'm alleviating any objections or thoughts in your head based off of what you believe the house is worth. So what's the home worth to you? What are you feeling you want to sell it for? What do you think it's worth in your head? I know you've done a Zillow's estimate, and just know it's not always correct. Anyway, keep moving on. What price did you pay for your home? Have you made any improvements? Why is that important? Because now we're going to be able to do a net sheet for them and establish, what they've done to it and what their house is worth based on, or how much net they're going to potentially make. Okay, so let's talk about some objections. Okay, so common objections. I still need to do work on the house. Okay, understandable. That's great. You still need to do work on the house. What we call it is parroting. So I just parroted back to him what they just said. So understand, you still need to do some work on the house. I still want to meet you face to face because just know I have a contractor and a bunch of handymen. I might be able to save you a ton of money. Plus, 9 times out of 10, when the work you think you need to do to the house doesn't really bring you value. So you definitely want me to see it with my own eyes so I can show you and tell you which ones you need to focus on. Just dealt with that objection. So these are questions over the phone that I'm dealing with to get the appointment. Remember, contact to appointment as soon as possible. And then contract at that appointment. Don't leave without the contract signed. Okay, so still need to work on the house. Just dealt with that objection. Objection number 2, need to find a home before listing my home. Very common objection to somebody that needs a contingency sell. All right, you know it very well. It's very common. So I need to find a home before listing my home. Excellent. Understand that you do need to find a home before you get your home on the market and sell it. So let's go ahead and meet, because just so you know, what I could do is I can pull up what properties are available on the market and I can show you what's there. Also, a lot of times I might have the perfect property coming soon for you. So let's go ahead and meet. We'll meet at the house. We'll sit down and I'll open up my computer and we'll show you. We'll pick areas and kind of get you all set up so I can basically, I'm going to give you access to my MLS. You're going to have access to use my MLS. Zillow, all those third-party companies are called third-party for a reason, because they get the information third-party. 9 times out of 10, it's old information. It's already got multiple offers by the time you get over there, because the MLS is where it comes from. So I need to meet with you, get you set up, and get you all. So let's meet. How about tomorrow at 5 o'clock, or what about 3? Does that work? So again, contact to appointment. These are objections. That's an objection you're going to get. We got to get the appointment. Don't need to sell. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm not in a hurry. I don't really need to sell. And what you're going to do is pair it back to them again. Oh, great to know. You don't need to sell right away. That's good to know. Let's go ahead and meet and set a goal of when we're going to get that buy. And I can set up my own expectations of areas I need to help you find. And then that way, one, you can get to know me. I can get to know you. It'll be a short meeting, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max. It'll probably take an hour, but we want to set an expectation. So don't need to sell. That's how you deal with that objection. Not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I've got I got a job I'm working on. It's going to be in about 6 months from now. Have some work to do around the house, so I'm not quite ready yet. Got it. Understandable. You're not quite ready yet. That's good. That means we have plenty of time to get this in order and get it going. One is, though, I need to get to work, because 6 months is a short time for me to do a lot of work I have to do to get prepared to make sure I help you reach your goal. So let's go ahead and meet. And then what we'll do is we'll go over that goal. well, I'll make sure there's anything that I can suggest you do to your house or anything like that. We'll take the time now to set it up for success, not failure. We want to set it up for success, not failure. So let's go ahead and meet and we'll go over that. Again, get the appointment. Need more equity to buy. We'll wait till prices go up. Very common these days, right? That's a very common objection. Understandable. Yes, you need more equity to be able to sell. I'm hearing what you're saying. We got to wait till that price goes up. So let's do this. I want to meet you in person to kind of show you where the prices are right now, because you may be surprised that your property is actually worth more than you realize, or that your net you're going to get out of it is worth more. Because no, if you wait till the prices go up, are you selling your house more? Yes, you're also purchasing more. So you want to buy when the market's right. So my job is to meet you face to face, and we're going to go over when the right time is. I can strategically help you make that decision. So let's meet. How about tomorrow at 5 o'clock, or does 3 o'clock work better? Can't afford to pay a commission. Ding, ding. The number one most important reason why agents or people don't like agents is because they have to pay them commission. We're not going to deal with that objection over the phone, but we are going to say this. Well, I'm sorry, we are going to deal with that objection over the phone. In order to get the appointment, we're going to go deeper into that objection when we're in person. So as on the phone, we're going to parrot them and say, yes, understand the commission is definitely a worry for a lot of people. Closing costs are inevitable and they're there. But understand that the commission, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be able to get you potentially 20% more for the property, which is going to cover my commission. Because when someone's worried about a 6% commission, when in turn an agent can actually get them 20% more, that 6% commission no longer doesn't sound very much, does it? Because 20% on average, national numbers is what an agent can get more, because we're advertising to a much larger community of people. The for sale by owners out there, it's about, so there's a 90% of properties sell with an agent. Out of 10% of the property, the leftover 10%, more than 9% of that 10% is new construction, which tells you actually how small for sale by owners are. It's a very small amount of people that actually for sale by owners, because the majority of the people use an agent. So just know that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be able to get you that. I'm that 90% that's going to get you a much larger audience of people, which in turn is going to get you roughly on average 20% more. So let's go ahead and meet, and I can break these numbers down a little more for you to show you how much more you're going to potentially get for the home, and why the commission may not even be a factor. If it is a factor, we'll know once we sit down. Let's meet. All right, so that's all I'm going to go over today. Those are your 6 objections that typically are the main objections you're going to deal with listings. But I want to just tell you a little secret. That's also with buyers. A lot of these same objections are in there with buyers, or at least some of them are. So we can kind of touch on that a little more next week when we get back together. Man, I hope you have such a good time at this retreat this week. I'm excited that you're doing that. I just found out from my pastor yesterday that they're going to be setting up a men's retreat at our church, and I can't wait, because they haven't had one in a while, not since before COVID. So pretty excited for you to get to do this too. All righty, Clayton. We'll talk to you soon, sir. Have a good week, and let me know if you need any help with anything. Talk to you soon.